Hey, how you guys holding up? This whole coronavirus thing's been crazy, hasn't it? You know, it seems like every day something is broken at our house. A couple days ago, it was my car. Battery's dead, so I'm going to be changing the battery. So this isn't one of those YouTube videos on how to change a battery or anything like that. Okay. And then this morning, our refrigerator and freezer stopped working. Awesome. Yeah. So it's sort of like these negative things keep piling up and piling up. And so it got me thinking. So I wrote a couple things down here. I think it's important for us to hear this. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you have, right? It affects everything, how we think. As an athlete, you know, talent and hard work gets you in the door, but it's your mindset, it's your attitude that will take you to the top. Success, I believe, follows when you're optimistic. So here's the thing, if you mess up, you have something that is broken, hurdles, hiccups, they all occur in life, right? You gotta learn to get back up. You gotta face it, right? So nothing is more important, I think, than what you feed your mind. The best way to feed your mind are the books you read. The number one book to read is the Bible. I'm gonna read something to you in a little bit here and encourage you, okay? But success begins in your mind, and here's the thing, failure does too. Optimism, I think, is self-fulfilling, but so is pessimism, right? So you have to decide how you're going to think. Left to yourself, I think failure just happens. If you don't think about it, you just sort of tend to slide towards the negative in life. That's just a part of life. That's the way it is, right? I also wrote this down. No matter how optimistic you are, I can be super positive, bad things still happen. So here's the key thought. Optimism won't prevent negative events from happening, right? Optimism, though, will help you know how to respond to those negative events in the most beneficial way possible, a way that leads to positive outcomes. So your mindset determines how you respond to the negative events in your life. We got negative events going on. I got a car that won't work. I got a refrigerator that won't work, a freezer that won't work, right? And so it doesn't matter how positive I am, that's not going to make it better or those situations get fixed, right? But being optimistic through those events will help me continue to move on. Side note, I think about this baseball. I'm really missing baseball right now. It's a game of failure. The best batting averages are over 300. That means 7 out of 10 times you are failing as a batter. If I fail 70% of the time in the classroom, I'm not graduating, right? But think about that. In baseball, you learn to respond in a positive manner by the way you fail. I also wrote this down. The best batters in the history of baseball failed roughly twice as often as they succeeded. That's a lot of failure, right? The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones how to learn to respond to failure with optimism. So I'm just thinking about being optimistic here, okay? Negative events are not permanent. They're not contagious. They don't define us. But we got to learn how to be positive in these moments. Again, what are you feeding up here? Negative or positive thoughts? So let me get the best book out here. It's called the Bible. John 15, Jesus said this, I'm the true grapevine. My Father is the gardener. Cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit. He prunes the branches that do bear fruit so they'll produce even more. Now listen carefully. You've already been pruned and purified by the message I've given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it's severed from the vine, and you can't be fruitful unless you remain in me. Now, I'm reading that because I'm sitting there going, I want to be fruitful, right? But I'm not going to be fruitful if I'm not connected to Jesus. So I got to get connected to Jesus. How do I get connected to Jesus? I read his word. As I'm reading God's word, I am learning real stuff that's powerful and positive and helps me grow. I just want to encourage you. You know, it says here, Jesus says, I'm the vine, you're the branches. Those who remain in me, I remain in them, and they produce much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. I got a lot of nothings happening around here. I need something positive to help me out. So I'm trying to feed my mind with, you know what, God, you got this. I'm going to trust you on this one. I got to have that positive outlook in a negative situation. I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Being negative about a negative situation doesn't help, right? How about the positive in the negative situation? Speaking of which, that's my battery. I got I got my cable from a positive, my cable from a negative, right? They're both gonna be hooked up to that battery. Oh, by the way, that battery is the power that's gonna get this car going again. What's the power getting you going? Stay positive. Talk to you soon.